Welcome to this video. Yes, into this video I'll be showing you guys how I became a server administrator within 5 days. Yes, I believe most people that will watch my video, either if you're a beginner into a tech, either you're an expert into this tech, either you're a programmer, you're software pro, you're network administrator, or you're a server administrator, a server programmer, any one of this tech field, I decided to make a video for people out there because I believe beginners out there are getting themselves dirty with what server administrators, how to set up servers virtually and on the cloud. We find this video more interesting. If you are an expert in this kind of like field, I believe that you get some two things, some vital things in this video. And I believe you watch this video to the end, you know how to set up your what I passed through and how I became a server administrator within 5 days. First of all, this I want to make a disclaimer here. I believe and I know it's not possible to become a full stack server administrator within 5 days. It's not possible. But I passed through an experience when I was working as a software engineer in one of those previous places where I worked, and what I really discovered then was something that was inspiring and what I want to share in this video. So I believe if you've watched this video to the end, you have a lot of things to gain and a lot of things to discover also. So first of all, yes, I'll have to explain who am I. My name is Isaac and welcome to my channel. But kindly like and subscribe for more videos like this. Most times I upload tech and coding videos like this coming up your way on the same channel. But in today's video I'll be showing you and I'll be looking at how I became a server administrator within 5 days. Yeah, I believe you can see my screen. So first of all, I just have to illustrate how it all started then. Sorry. I work as a software engineer in one of those biggest bank in Africa then. So, and what I really gained from this, what I really gained in one of those days where I was working with them was how to set up the server, how to make a server upgrade, and that's why I'm making this video. Yeah, and it's just something that happened in a day. I was just working in a day with like as usual morning routine, so checking up my emails and seeing what upgrade you have to make, either making PR to the current code base you have, or making some little changes, making some little upgrade on our code base, current applications you are supporting, we are developing for. So, and I got a call from my team lead, and this team lead was like, wow, yeah, Isaac, just come up here, like, let's discuss. We are moving our what? Yeah, we are moving our what? I want to move our web server and our app server from CentOS to Red Hat. And I was like, wow, yeah. I was like, what's Red Hat? What's CentOS? Yes, I was asking those questions in my mind, but I was just like, okay, I was just asking randomly, like, okay, all right, yeah. It was the final request was like, hey, get it done, Isaac. Want to make it was a server upgrade from our current CentOS to Red Hat OS, and that's given to my team lead. So I was just like, wow, I just have to take this challenge up as a software programmer or as a software engineer. And I was like, wow, what do I know about server? I don't really know much about Linux, and most times it's just about, okay, I want to oh my god, I want to I just want to run some little commands on how to make some git incoming git push or stuff like that. That's just where all those stuff that deals with git commands, I can do it on my Linux CMD or stuff like that. But anything that deals like going beyond into server administration, server upgrade, or server that deals with the core Linux command, I don't really know much about it. So I was just like, how to make it a challenge. That was the first day. Yes, I think I didn't put this stuff here. So it's one of those in. Let me just do this stuff here. Let me just put it here so you guys can see. So we're checking online. It's very, very important. I say what IT technicians, or as an IT person, you always have to be very close to Google, checking online. So that was the first day. The day when I check online on how to set up a server, what are the Linux command I'll make use of, the core Linux command make use of, stuff like that. That was the first day. That was the day when I just have to check online, and it was just all inspiring that day because as a software, as a problem solver, all these things is just become natural to me because I've been in software engineering, and I was like, wow, if I can become a software engineer and I can work as a software engineer, server being able to set up server, or being able to upgrade the server is something that I should be able to take up as a challenge too, because I'm a problem solver. And in server administration tools, in server administration world too, being a problem solver is also applicable too. So I just have to take it as a challenge, and I have to work on it, and I did work on it, and that's why I'm making this video for you guys here. So I will just illustrate to you guys, describe to you guys how I became what server administrator within 5 days. So the first day was like, wow, let me check online, let me check Google. I made some research on how to set up the server, because current server we are having both our app server and our web server running on CentOS. So I was like, wow, how do I make the upgrade? I was just making some research on how to make some research on how to set up virtual box. I thought the Linux command, the advanced call Linux command. I'll make use of all throughout this operation and other like this. I think these are the major things I make research on. I make research on. First thing, the call Linux command, what are the functions, how they works. That was one. That was just, it's part of what I worked on as a research, and that's just one of it. Just make okay. Being called a correct problem solver, when it's come to a problem that you can't solve by yourself, you have to make research, check online, and how to get it done. So that was when it get done on me, to check online, to check Google, and I was during my research, I was able to find out the call Linux command, how to install a virtual box, how to set up a server, how to install those Linux and OS, both the CentOS and the Red Hat OS, because the current server we have in is running on CentOS. So I want to make the upgrade to Red Hat OS, and the experience was very inspiring. So this is the research part. This is what you are seeing, the research part. So I have to, after I'm done with the research part, because I have some little knowledge after making some research. I have some little knowledge after making some research. So it's get done on me to test what I've worked on, what I've researched on, which is where I come into checking our current server, because most times when you want to solve the problem, you have to understand. When you want to solve the problem as a software engineer or what is server administrator, you have to understand the problem very well. Because if you don't understand the problem very well, you can just get ramble into any solutions, and at the end you didn't get what you want, or you didn't get the expected solutions, or you didn't get the different solutions, or the most effective solutions. Most times when you're given a problem set, or maybe you're a solo programmer, a solo developer, or a solo administrator, first of all you have to understand the problem. So that was the day one. I check on how to set up a server and how to install the OS. As I have earlier said, I installed both CentOS and Red Hat OS on my virtual box, because I have to set up a virtual box on my host PC, which is the Windows PC. So I set it up on my PC, and I have to check the current server we are running, which is running on CentOS. I have to check the version, both because the CentOS, I have to check the version of CentOS. I have to check both our web app server and our web server, what is running on it. Is it Apache? Is it Nginx? Is it HTTP proxy? So those are the things I check. So after my checking, I discovered that it was running on Apache, both our web and our app server. So yeah, I was like, wow, this is gonna be cool. So after checking both configurations, and I discovered both configurations for app servers and web servers, I discovered it was running on what? So running on what? On CentOS. Sorry, I said CentOS. Yes, it was running on CentOS. After checking, and it was running on CentOS, I just have to wow, I have to replicate the same thing. So can you see? I clone both servers on our test environment. So yes, the reason why I mentioned test environment is because I made it clear to my mind, because I made it clear to my mind earlier before I started this work. This task given to me in the sense that the VirtualBox I installed on my PC, and the servers the servers that have been installed on .os, because they are both running on CentOS. The servers I installed will both work perfectly on inside my VirtualBox using what CentOS and what Red Hat OS. So, and I called both OS I installed on my VirtualBox, what I called it a test environment. Why do I call it a test environment? Okay, initially before this time we have a test server where we do all this stuff. So I just decided assuming it's just like I'm simulating how to work on a test environment. So I just have to clone both servers to my I clone both servers from my test environment. I clone their configuration from our test environment to my the configuration files of both servers. I clone it from my test environment, from my test environment, so to say, and I copied it to my local virtual box on my PC. So after doing the copying and all, I was able to what move to the day two, which is the day two is where I was like, wow. But before I finish that day one, I have to I have to do some reports, because most times when you finish your daily task, there has to be a report you have to give to what your team leader about what you have done, what you experienced so far, the problem set and all, and what you are tackling with at that moment. So those are the report I gave. I just have to send the report to him on that day one. So let's move to day two now. On the day two, I was checking. I run all the servers on test environment. Initially said don't forget I said from the day one I just have it in my mind here that if I'm running both CentOS and Red Hat OS on my virtual box, it's just like I'm simulating how it works on what test environment, if you understand what I mean. So if I can simulate how it works on my virtual box, it's just applicable to what will be done on what in test environment too. So it's just like wow. So if you are seeing test environment here, I mean that's just what I mean by saying I'm running both servers on my VirtualBox. So VirtualBox on my PC. So I decided to make a test on both servers on my on my VirtualBox, and it was all up and running. So for both web server and app server, because most times, let me just tell you this. Yeah, our web server. Let me just disclose this information. This information has to be confidential, but I have to disclose it. Sorry. So both our web server is running on Apache. Apache is just like the Apache. I'll tell you some technical stuff here. So if you're not tech person, so sorry. At this point, from this point on, I'm mentioning some technical stuff. If you want to make some research about it, maybe Google search about it, I want you to pause this video and make a research about it. So yeah, for people that are tech savvy and all, let's move forward to the video. So sorry, my bad. So yes, web server is running on Apache and our app server is running on Apache. So and both are running locally on my VirtualBox on CentOS. And the problem they gave to me was make it to run. We are making an upgrade. Initially, I can't recall what version of Apache, but both the web server and the app servers are running on CentOS. I can't really vividly remember the version of Apache, but both are running on Apache servers. So, and let me tell you this: our app server. Let me just give you some information here. Our app server, yeah. There comes in take aspect. Our app server. This is a request. Our app server. So sorry. Our app server. Response. So yeah. Our app server. I just want to do some stuff here. So okay. Let me just. Server, yeah, web server. Okay, web server. Sorry, I said the web server. And what the web server? Web server. So okay, let me just use this declaration. So most times when requests come from the web browser, because our software application is a web application. So most times when requests come from the web browser, it's enter this guy here. This is the guy that is let's assume this web browser. So this is web browser. So it comes from that web browser. It's the first guy it got hit on was what? But our web server. So our web server is just acting as a what? A deliver process for our app server. Because it's okay, there's a request coming from this browser here, and the first guy to hit on was the web server, and this guy was like, wow, this request is coming from someone, so let me process this request and give it to the app server. So this app server is the second guy here. Can you see? Second guy is the app server. This guy is the web server. So when the web server processes the request as a reverse process, as a load balancer, it gives it to the web app server. When it gets to the app server, so the app server got that response, got the request from the web server, and it process the what to process the request to the needful to the right guy. The reason why I use the guy because the reason why I use the word guy because I want to make it more understanding, like more comprehensive for you to understand. So yes, when the request is taken from the web server to the app server will take that request coming from the web browser in the first place, and we will move it to the endpoint that will what after that can handle that request. And when we move to that endpoint that can handle that request, I think inside the web app server we have like over 100 endpoints inside the app server. So when it moves to the app server, the app server will take up the request, and it will get our get the request process and comes back with a response after hitting the right endpoint. And when they hit the right endpoint, they come out with the response, and the response got delivered back to the got delivered back to the what got delivered back to the to the web browser here. So that's just the illustration about how it works. So let's move back to what we are talking about. So the Apache guy here is just acting as both about about the what about the reverse process and the app server. So at this point, I have discovered what we are currently working on, what we are currently working on, and what our own system is currently working on, which like currently deployed on, which is the Apache servers. So since I have that information on my left hand, it gives me more inkling on how to come out with a server upgrade, because the server upgrade is what I need to deal with. What I was given a task to work on by my team lead. So after doing some research and all, I was able to come up with how to set up what testing. Yes, this is where I test. I was able to come up with a solution on how to run both Apache server inside the Red Hat operating system. So this part is where I make some testing and checking the server config file, because most times when you have your CentOS inside VirtualBox, there has to become a time where you have to check the configuration file of those servers. When you check configuration files for those servers, you know the technical things you need to check, and you know the technical upgrade changes you have to make to make your solution come to life. So this is where I have to check the config file and test it on my Windows PC, which is running on my Windows PC, where my CentOS, my Red Hat OS is running as a guest OS on my Windows PC inside the VirtualBox. So that's all about that day 2. So after the day 2 tasks and all, I then gave a report to my test lead. I then gave a report to my team lead on how I get the solution done and what I was able to do that on that same day, which is the day 2. So let's move to the day 3 now. The day 3 is where I tested both both app server and web server on the test environment. Initially I said anyway you see test environment here. Sorry, I have to just do some little disclaimer here. Anyway, you see test environment here, I'm talking about what my VirtualBox. So yeah, what I was talking about was testing running both app server and web server on my test environment, which is my VirtualBox. So when I test what is running on my app server and web server, because initially, if you could remember, I make it more comprehensive by explaining that any request coming from the web browser always hit the web server and as the first person that got that request from the web browser. After getting to the web browser, the request will be processed to the right endpoint inside the app server. So those are the things you have to understand too as a technical person. So after checking both sides of app server and web server, and I have to make like set up the server the normal stuff, which is what, let me just show you some little stuff here. I believe if you are into Linux, all these things will be very clear to you. Yeah, sudo yum start httd. So I think this is for what httd service. httd is for what? I think this is for start service. What enable service? Because my bad, I don't really have much. I don't really know. I can't really recall which command I use, but I believe it's related to this. If you're into server administrator, if you're into server administrator or Linux administrator, you know what all this is all about. These are the commands I run while I was on day 3. So when I run those commands on day 3, I was able to enable the Apache server on both app and web server, and I start the servers because when you want to check the changes you made inside the config file, you have to enable it and we'll start it again. Like you are restarting, it's like you are restarting a physical machine. But this is inside your guest OS, inside your PC. So when I make some changes on inside the config file, okay, after those time, I have to meet with other tech savvy inside our team, and we have to some discussion on how we can, on what I've worked on, where I'm working, what I'm currently working on, and where I'm going towards achieving our server upgrade. So those are the things we will talk about in the meeting. And after that day, I have to make a report also, because this task is given to me by my team lead. There has to be a daily report given to him by me. So that's what I have to do as a person under him. So the day 4, let's move to day 4 now. Under the day 4, I was to make some tests, make some update on both our app and web server. I think is something, this is related to this guy here. So let me just show you what I'm talking about. This is related to this guy here. So because this guy is dependent on what dependent on what changes I made here. So when I make the upgrade here, on the day 1, on the day 4, I was able to make the upgrade. What I mean by the updates is installing both the app server and the web server on our new OS, which is the Red Hat. So after installing and checking both the configuration file, I was able to test those changes I made inside each configuration files for both our app and web servers. When I make changes and then I test my changes, I was like, wow, this is done. I'm done with the tasks given to my team lead, and I want to make those. I think it's time for us to make those upgrade on the live environment. So don't forget, before I make those upgrades on the live environment, this is a disclaimer here. I remembered I decided to test those upgrades on our test environment. Initially, I was calling my test environment a virtual box, because it's just like, you're imagining you're working on test environment. That's just what my assumption was initially. So now, since I've been able to make some upgrade and I made those changes and it's worked perfectly on my virtual box, I can now move those changes to my test environment, to our test environment inside our team. So when I have to consult the guy behind the testing, and we have a QA and all, the QA team and inside our team, and after making some discussion with them, I was able to come up about making those changes inside our test environment. And after making those changes inside our test environment, and those changes worked, I was able to on the day 5, which is the final day, I was able to make the upgrade I made initially on my test environment, make those upgrades, and I push those updates to our live environment, and it was up and running. Now we have our level environment working on both Red Hat OS, which was initially working on set OS. So I think with this, just some technical explanation I've made here, you understand what I've passed through being in common with server administrator within 5 days. So what I really learned on the process was how to solve a problem, because most time in any tech skills you are into, in any tech field you are into, either an UI designer or a product designer or UX designer, you are a problem solver. So when you're called a problem solver, there has to be a time you have to sit down and make research on how you make research. But before you make research, you have to understand fully well what the problem is. Because when you understand what the problem is, you will to make some research and come up with the best and the effective solution that suits that problem set you are given. So I don't know where you're working. Either you are working on solely, you are working inside a team and stuff like that. This video will be very, very useful for you and very applicable for you as tech savvy. So make sure you like this video and subscribe for more videos like this. And that is how I became a server administrator within 5 days. And in this inside this experience, I can call myself some problem solver. I can call myself a server administrator, because I was able to make the upgrade on our server successfully. inside our test environment, and inside our what life environment too. So those are the things I gain, and those are the experiences I gain while working as a software engineer. Don't forget, I said earlier on in the beginning of the video that I was a software engineer in one of those biggest bank in Africa. And those are the things. This is one of the tasks I was able to achieve successfully for them, and I am still remembering and still happy about those experiences. Also, those experiences was inspiring. So, and those experiences are still to me to this today. I can still work anywhere as a software administrator because I have the experience. So it's just something I have experience on. So I can decide to what change tomorrow, and from what being a software engineer to what to becoming a software administrator. And I believe I will have some new experience that will come up with that also. So thank you for watching my video, and I believe you've gained some little things. Either you are a beginner or either an experienced person inside this tech world, or a server administrator person. You watch my video, I believe you get some things with my video. So make sure you like this video and share with someone that I see getting themselves dirty into a server administration. So either that person wants to become a server administrator as a beginner, you can decide to share the video with them, and I believe they will gain some things with what I've illustrated in this video, or with what I've shared in this video. So thank you for watching my video, and like and share with someone that is tech or a tech friend like you watching my video. Thank you for watching, and make sure you like and subscribe for more. Bye for now.